Do you have an overeating problem where you start something and you feel like you have to finish it? Even when you're full, even when you're not really enjoying it anymore? Because if you do, and if you're also trying to drop body fat and get in shape, that behavior is gonna really hold you back from making the progress that you want to make. In this video, I'm gonna break down why you're doing it and what actually needs to change if you want to stop. If you're new here, I'm Rachel, an online coach helping women get fit, strong, and look and feel better in their 30s and 40s than they did in their 20s. And a quick note, this is not about binge eating disorder. That's an entirely separate thing. This is about that very common pattern of eating past fullness and feeling like you just can't switch it off. So I have my brew and I'm going to be prepping some food again. So I'm making a salad. I'm gonna do like cucumber, carrot, some pepper, some red cabbage, because I'm gonna dress it with like a sesame and soy dressing and serve it with chicken. And I've got some cooked rice that I'm then gonna crisp up, so I'm gonna do the crispy rice salad for the next few days for lunches. So let's chat as I prep. Knife. Right, carrots. I said I was going to do it with crispy rice, but I might do it with, I bought some soba noodles today. They're really good. They'll be nice cold as well. Got options. So like I said in the last video, guys, if you've not watched it about prepping salads, my idea of meal prep is similar things, just slight varieties. Eating the same sort of foods is the ultimate fat loss hack. I'm cutting my head off again. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, off on a completely separate tangent now. So, eating past fullness. So, you know what I'm talking about. When you're already full, but there is food left on your plate, and generally it's tasty food that you do this with. You're probably not going to be doing it with carrot or a salad, but if something tastes really good, and usually it's those foods that are the hyper palatable foods, so the foods that we do struggle to kind of stop eating, the combination of fats and carbohydrates. And because there's food on your plate, your brain's like, oh, may as well finish that, or oh, there's only a bit left, what's the point in saving it? And suddenly you're not enjoying it, but you're finishing it. And then you can sometimes even feel quite full, you've not enjoyed it, and then you feel a bit disappointed and you're annoyed at yourself. You can probably relate. And I used to struggle so much with this. When I'd done my 12-week transformation, because during the 12 weeks, I was so disciplined and on track and on point, and I just stuck with the plan. But when I'd done the transformation, I'd done the photo shoot, and I was trying to kind of increase my calories. My coach was like, reverse dieting me, getting to the point of trying to live normally, not in that kind of super focused, super restricted state. And he would sometimes give me a refeed and I would just go in on all the food. And it wasn't because I was greedy. It wasn't because I had a discipline problem. It was because I didn't actually trust when I'd be able to eat those foods again. So it was a real scarcity issue around food. So I'd eat past the point of enjoyment, I'd eat past the point of fullness, and I'd get to that like uncomfortable, slightly out of control feeling, which actually made no sense because all I wanted to do was like be in control of my food. So the thing is, you're not overeating because you've got a discipline problem. You are overeating because there's a food scarcity problem for whatever reason. And like for me, it was the fact that I'd cut all these foods out of my diet for a period of time, but for whatever reason, and it might be a similar thing, you've told yourself that this food is limited, or that you shouldn't be having it, or I won't get another chance to eat this. So when you do eat it, your brain's like, eat it all now, we don't know when we're going to have this again. And that's why you keep going. Now look, a level of restriction is needed to lose body fat, in the sense of you need to restrict calories, you need to restrict certain foods to a certain extent, but it shouldn't be this whole like all or nothing approach. It shouldn't be everything's cut out and everything's super strict, and creating these really rigid food rules, and kind of or attaching morality to food. But if you want to change your body, then some habits have got to shift. You can't do and eat how you always eat and expect a different result. But the problem is so many women go too far and they swing between eating whatever they want to I can't eat X, Y, and Z. I need to eat perfectly, I need to do this, I need to cut out these food groups, these foods are bad, I'm not allowed that, that's not going to help me lose weight. So the stricter that you are with those thought processes and the more meaning you attach to food really increases the scarcity of that food. It feels like a luxury item. It feels like something like, it's that whole thing like, oh, it's bad, it's forbidden, I shouldn't be having this. Then when you do, it's like, so the key point is to remind yourself that food is available. And not only that, you have unconditional permission to eat whatever you want and how much of it that you want. That doesn't change. Like, that is the reality. It's the reframe that yes, you can eat whatever you want, but you are choosing certain things for a period if you're trying to lose fat. But those foods are still there, they can still be part of your diet, you can still choose to eat them if you want without this real negative association with them. So it's not that you're in a last chance situation, that food will always be there, you can eat that at any opportunity, and it's conditioning yourself that that is the case. You are not banned from these foods forever. Even if you're going through a period of eating slightly less of them, they are still going to be there at the end of the diet. They are still part of the process in the diet, but just maybe to a smaller extent. So once your brain understands that, the urgency to eat it all at once will start to disappear. And what I want you to think about with this, and this is where it's really important when you are in a bit more of a stricter protocol with yourself, if you are trying to lose fat, so you are reducing the amounts of these foods and the quantities that you're having, think about it next time you're having something that's like real delicious, it's hitting those, like I said, the carbohydrates, the fats, the salt, often, you know, like pizza or like cookies or whatever, ice cream. Those first few bites, like your first few slices of pizza, are incredible and they taste so good. Think about that compared to the last couple of slices. It's never the same. That feeling reduces the more you eat of the thing. So when you know that, and you also, a key thing to do is to really slow down your eating, you realize that you can enjoy those first few slices and have that as part of your diet and enjoy that, and then stop and finish because you know actually it's not worth it to continue because it isn't as good and it's detrimental to my longer term results. So that's always worth keeping in your mind as well, and really try that next time you are eating one of these foods that you normally struggle to stop eating. So what else can you do to change how you are approaching this? And it is nothing to do with willpower. In fact, the more you try and willpower your way through it, the more you try and just think, well, I just won't have it, you're just going to exacerbate the problem. You have to have this open mindset towards food and the process and the fact that this food is in abundance and you can have it whenever you want. So practically, it's also a bit of a skill. You have to keep reminding yourself that it isn't your only opportunity to eat this food. You can have it, if you don't quite finish it today, you can eat it later. You can have it tomorrow. You can have it every day if you want. And if you remind yourself and your brain of that enough, the urge will again start to drop. This doesn't happen straight away. This takes time, and like I say, it's a skill. It takes practice in it. But part of how you can manage this and practice it as well is planned exposure. Integrate some of those foods every day. Even if you're in a fat loss phase, factor in having a little bit of chocolate every single day, where you soon realize, okay, I'm having it again tomorrow, I don't need to overeat it right now. If you include those foods more often rather than less often, you are going to improve this feeling around urgency and scarcity. Then a couple of other practical things, like I mentioned before about paying attention to what the first few bites like compared to the last. Just slow down how quickly you eat. share some of these foods with somebody else. So you're naturally having a little bit less and understanding what that feels like, and actually that it's okay. But by slowing things down, by sharing, you are going to naturally be paying a little bit more attention to your hunger cues and what's actually going on. Because that's the thing, is when we're finishing this food, it's not that it's a hunger issue. You're not carrying on because you're hungry. If you do, that's okay. It's because you're hungry. If you're eating past fullness, it's not a hunger issue, and it's this scarcity feeling. But it's also when you get to then the end of something, it's that feeling of wanting more, and it's this feeling of like, oh, it's ended. So if you're taking your time, you're eating it slowly, you're enjoying it, you're registering what you're doing. Because how many times have you smashed like a bag of chocolate without really paying any attention to it? Register what you're doing. Register the fact that you've got X mouthfuls left and you're enjoying it, and you're looking, you've been enjoying it, and it's going to end soon, but that's okay, because you can have more at a future point. These are all things to practice. It sounds really simple, and it's not. I'm not trying to oversimplify it. I'm trying to give you these are things that I do and I still do. I'm not saying I am perfect at this. I still have moments where I'll overeat, but I am much more aware now. If I get to something, and even if I've got like one mouthful left, if I think, do you know what, I'm actually full, I don't need this, I am so much better at just putting my fork down and leaving it. And sometimes even it's the telling yourself, well, you're just going to leave it for 10 minutes. It's still that, don't take the plate away, don't remove it. If you still want it in 10 minutes, then you can have it. But it's that often by that point, the feelings have passed, or the fullness is, I am stuffed right now. So these are just things to practice. I should carry on prepping my salad. And a lot of the stuff I talk about comes down to creating a new identity for yourself. Now, this might sound a little bit woo, right? But if you are always telling yourself and telling other people, oh, I'm somebody that, I can't stop eating once I've started, then you'll just continue to believe that, and you'll continue to act in that way. Create a new identity for yourself as somebody who, I stop when I've had enough. Like, that is your new identity. I am somebody who stops when I've had enough. I pay attention to my hunger cues. I take my time with my food, and I'm not trying to do it perfectly, but I am somebody who stops when I'm full. And you can then start to reaffirm that new identity by taking these steps. And the more you do something, the more likely it is to become a new behavior, a new habit, and a new way of being. And that's the same for anything. A lot of the things I talk about, some of the women that I first start working with are not used to exercising consistently. And then after 6 months, they are going to the gym 3 times a week, because it is now their identity. They have created that for themselves as, I am somebody who trains 3 times a week. We can do that with so many things. It's really, really powerful. And this isn't to say that you will never overeat again. Like I say, I will still have those times. It's not about perfect again, it's about consistency and what you are doing most of the time, and how you're trying to improve how you feel and how you show up. Because being able to leave food on your plate when you are full, it's not about leaving food on your plate just because, or to try and save calories, but when you are full, that is the fat loss hack, and it's the staying in shape hack that nobody really talks about. Because it means that you are able to eat more and more of the foods that you do enjoy day to day, because you're not massively over consuming them. So you'll see people bring awareness to you. You will notice people that are in good shape. You will see that they sometimes leave food on their plate. They're not obsessed with finishing everything. They're not overeating unnecessarily. So you can also become that person. The goal isn't to be more disciplined with food. It's to stop feeling like you're going to be out of control in the first place. So it comes from removing the urgency, removing the good, bad foods, the treats, the cheat meals. It comes as you being able to eat whatever food you want. No food's good, no food's bad. Everything can have a place in your diet. It's just certain things are more heavily weighted because they actually might contain less calories, but more nutritious, but that you can still have the foods that are really calorie dense and the foods that are delicious, because you're able to eat them in moderation. And this is part of the moderation, being able to stop when you're full. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I will, you might see this salad. So far, this is what we've got. Carrot and cucumber. I couldn't talk today and do it. My brain. I may pop this on the ground for you to see. Who knows? But I'll see you in the next video.